Meeting of the Livingston Parish Council, today being May the 11th, 2023, 6 o'clock p.m. was scheduled. It's now 6:05. All the minutes and publications have been sent, so this will be an official meeting. To get started, Ms. Sandy, would you call the roll to make sure we have a quorum, please?
Mr. Mack?
Where did everybody go? Here.
Ms. Sandifer? Here. Mr. Wascom?
Here.
Mr. Ard? Mr. Dillette?
Here.
Mr. McMorris?
Here.
Mr. Keane?
Here.
Mr. Talbert?
Here.
Mr. Gurleyhouse? Here. Present.
Okay, real quick, if we would take just a moment and stand for a pledge of allegiance, but Mr. McMorris, who's doing the invocation?
Is it Brooke Dupee?
I'm sorry?
Brooke Dupee.
Brooke, would you please?
I got a Dupee at work.
Dupree, would you please keep in your prayers, Denham Springs police officer just got shot tonight in Denham Springs at Petco. So if you would, tonight during the invocation, if you could somehow either mention him, the family, or just keep it in your prayers during the invocation. Thank you. Go ahead. Ready, girls? Pledge allegiance then. All right, now we'll do the prayer.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather here as a community today in support of our parish teams. We pray that you may continue to bring success to our parish and the teams and clubs involved in it. We pray that you just place a hand of protection over our parish and the police officers and all who work in it. We pray for the family of the Denham police officer today, dear Lord, and we lift them up and that you guide them and that you allow them to get through this tough situation, dear Lord. We pray that you just give us all guidance and wisdom as we go into our days and as we enter this meeting. We pray that you just protect us all as we make our way homes tonight as well, dear Lord. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you. Real quick, I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. McMorris. Just a quick reminder, let everyone know, check your cell phones, if you don't mind, just so that it doesn't go out of hand. Mr. McMorris, you got some presentations this evening.
Good evening to all students, coaches,
Go.
coaches and family members who are here today for the parish council. I would like the following to come up, help me be part of this. Is Dr. Ron McMorris here? He didn't make it? All right. Randy Dillette, can you come down, help me with read something, please? Don Tunes, you can come on down. First thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to share a little story with you girls. I would like to share a quick story that happened in 1988 while we were fixing to play for the quarterfinals against Vinton High School baseball team. Coach came in, he said, all right guys, we're facing the best pitcher in the state. This guy's throwing 90 miles per hour up to the hundreds. We got to be ready. We worked day after day getting ready. We had an old pitching machine, had the old wheels on it, and that thing would throw. Finally got it up to 80 miles per hour, and we was crushing the ball. We made the long drive all the way over to Texas line, right across Lake Charles. First three batters gets up, and they all struck out, and I was one of them. And it was like, oh my goodness. As the game went on, the young man pitching had a no-hitter all the way to the seventh inning, where he was still throwing a fastball at 25 to 30 miles per hour. We still never figured out how Coach got his scouting report, and still is undetermined after 30 years of age. He never would tell us the truth. So Coach Bruce Chapin, can you come up? Coach Bruce Chapin is our assistant principal, superintendent of Livingston Parish Schools. He was my high school baseball coach. Thank you, sir. So you're just not a coach for us. You take care of our teachers and you take care of our children. And that's, we'll appreciate you and King. Okay. All right, we're going to turn it over to Randy now. Take over, Randy.
All right.
Mr. McMorris has prepared this. He's got a lot of pride in his community. And there's no community second to French Summit. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. So go Lions. Tonight's a great honor to have head coach Blake West and assistant coach Jennifer Burrow here to honor their hard work as teachers, also being a mentor to all the young ladies of the softball team. Both attended French Element and decided to come back home and take over the softball program. Blake, top. Blake in his 5th year and Jennifer with her 3rd year, they have built a wonderful program with these talented young ladies and for the future of the Lady Lions softball program. With just one senior and a talented roster of youngsters, French Summit went into the playoffs being a 4th seed in the state. With 24 wins, 10 losses, French Summit won its first softball title since 1999 when Coach Richard Cherry was the coach. Okay.
Got one more story, then we're gonna get into the recognition of the ladies. And girls, you're gonna enjoy this. Happy you girls are. I was over to Coyote Ballpark for years. I was able to witness 2 men in our audience scream, holler, throw their hats, gloves, bats, kick the dirt, while coaching half of you young ladies from T-ball up to the years of travel ball. They made the girls run the bases as fast as they could, time after time. They hit the ground balls that no grown man could ever catch, as they made the girls get down in front of the ball to stop it, no matter what it took. As they hollered, after one would get busted in the mouth and one in the eye, all you could hear was that, you want to win, you got to get tough. These guys would throw pitches after pitches on hitting practice until these girls was able to learn to hit hard and learn how to drag bunt. I could always remember all the board members saying, what does these coaches think? They professionals? So today I want to apologize to Brent Cullen and Trent Acosta, as they had 2 different teams at our park that competed against each other, and the girls competed against each other. But they made the ladies who they are today after each practice. To all the girls, now I see how hard you all worked to help you become the players you are today. So after all the tears and sweat, it finally paid off for everyone, as you ladies made everyone in our community proud to be a Lion. All right? Go ahead.
Today, we'd like to give this plaque to the French Summit High School softball team, coaches, players, and the families. The 9 Livingston Parish Council members is proud to recognize French Summit High School softball in recognition of your outstanding performance during the season and being the 2023 Division IV non-select state champions of Louisiana. Let me read that again. In recognition of your outstanding performance during the season and being the 2023 Division IV non-select state champions of Louisiana. Yes, yes. Okay.
Come on up here and get y'all's plaque, guys. We want y'all to hang it up there in the front so everybody can see it.
I will read it off. It says, the Livingston Parish Council is proud to recognize French Summit High School softball in recognition of your outstanding performance during the season and the 23 Division IV non-select state champions, presented May 11th, 23rd. They have Mr. Jeff Ord, Council District 1, Mr. Garrett Talbot, Council District 2, Mr. Maurice Scooter King, Council District 3, Mr. John Wascom, Council District 4, Ms. Erin Sandifer, Council District 5, Mr. Gerald McMorris, Council District 6, Mr. Tracy Gerlenhouse, Council District 7, Randy Delat, Council District 8, Mr. Shane Mack, Council District 9. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I got to know these 2 a long time ago, right? Blake was a neighbor down the road. My son stayed at their house all the time. Jennifer, I watched her grow up from a baby. Thank you for what you do for our school. All right? The next one's gonna go to Mr. John Tunis. He's our principal there at our school. Young man from Coyell, took over the school, doing a great job, man. We appreciate you. All right? All right, what we all been waiting for, girls. You ready? As I call you up, please come up and accept your certificate. John, do you want to read it off to him?
Read the whole thing?
Yeah, read it to
All
him.
right, certificate of recognition, the Livingston Parish Council does hereby wish to honor and recognize the French Settlement High School Lady Lions softball team for their hard work, perseverance, and achievements in securing the 2023 Division IV non-select state championship. Congratulations and a job well done.
You don't have to read all the council. All right, the first lady we're gonna have, she's a senior this year, and she is the only senior. So we got Brooke. All right, and also she was the first team all district. So pay attention when I call out these people's names, so it's very impressive. All right, we got Brooke Kapisk, Little Marlin, all right, junior, second team all district. Emma PT. First team all district. Good Lord, now we get into the good ones, huh? The Matt Morris families. All right, Addison Matt Morris. She's a junior, second team all district. And we got Ramsey Matt Morris. Junior, second team all district. All right, Cameron Wheat. She's a sophomore. Julian Cullen. All right, Stella Allison. She was a freshman, and she made first team all district. We got Kenyon Miles. Now, come on, girl. Let's talk about that. Kenna? Y'all gotta get nicknames, girl. I like your names.
I'm gonna let you call out the names.
Little Trip. Acosta, come on up. She's an 8th grader, and she's a first team all district. Ryan Wilson. 8th grader, second team all district. Floyd Harris. 8th grade. I think that was everybody, right? Everybody got one? You didn't get one, Becky? I'll be dead gone. So come on up here with me, Becky. I got something special for you.
Hey,
I want
man.
you to get a little history behind Mallory. Mallory. How do you say your name? That ain't Malloy. Mallory.
Oh, they spoke to Mallory.
I get that now. All right. So she also made first team all district. She was the MVP of the state tournament. She had a 15-9 record. She pitched 152 innings. She had 199 strikeouts. What's most impressive, she's in 8th grade. Give her a hand. Girls, we are so proud of y'all.
She's also my cousin.
Thank the parents for coming. Thank you, girls, for coming. This is a big honor for you girls. And your lives, right? I am alive. Your lives. Thank you,
Like a
Mr.
picture or something,
McMorris.
Gerald? You gonna take like a picture or something with the team or something? You gonna take like a picture or
Y'all want
something?
to take a picture real quick? Come over here. All the councilmen, please. Scooter, you can stand up on this bench right here.
That's mine.
Hey, thank goodness, you're little. I get behind the short. Hey, Shane, he said we gotta stand on the bench, but he left you out.
I was standing by Daryl. Daryl Rainey.
Not me, I'm gonna get back here. Wait, I gotta get the short girls. Wait,
Tighten it up a little bit, guys.
Randy, we all need to stand up on the bench. Look, we look like we photo bombing
Hey,
back
hold
here.
up. Get your hands on your hip, okay? Be done like this. All right? Can you be singing? Can't be cozy, girls. Come on.
They don't do it but one way.
Ready? Here we go. Thank you, girls.
Yep.
I got to say a few things.
All right, the next up on the agenda is Mr. Shane Mack. Shane? Okay, just whenever you're ready. Good job, buddy. You killed it. You knocked him out the park. Literally.
All right, everyone. My name's Shane Mack, and I grew up in Holden, Louisiana, the first part of my life. The second part of my life and the rest of my life, I'm growing up in Albany, Louisiana. When I think about Albany and what they're known for, I think about all the Hungarian people that settled out there, and I think about the Hungarian Museum and the Hungarian harvest dance they have annually that's really, really nice. And I think about St. Margaret's Catholic Church and God's presence there. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful church. And the next thing I think about is the Albany Lady Hornets and how year after year after year, they're just so successful. And so tonight, what we wanted to do was bring in the Albany Lady Hornets and honor them for their success they've had this past year. So we have some plaques we'd like to present. We'd go ahead and call, I guess, Miss Stacy.
We'll do this first and get the coach.
Yeah, we'll do the basketball first. Miss Stacy, would you like to come up and say a few words? We want to get Mr. Salmon to come up too. This is Stacy Smith DeRoos, Miss Joanne Smith's daughter from Albany, Louisiana, that won all the state championships years ago. This is Mr. Sammy LaCara. He's the new principal of Albany High School, and I'd like to say in 1 year's time, he's turned that school around. It's a wonderful school to go to. I'm very proud of it. Appreciate you, Sammy, for all you do for Albany High School. Okay. Stacy, do you want to talk before or after I give you the plaque?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that on behalf of the Livingston Parish Council, it is proud to recognize Albany High School girls basketball in recognition of your outstanding performance during the season and the 2023 Division II non-select state runner-up. And we're presenting this to you May 11th, 2023. On behalf of Councilmember Jeff Ard, Gary Talbert, Marie Scooter King, John Wascom, Aaron Sandiford, Gerald McMorris, Tracy Girlinghouse, Randy DeLatte, and Shane Mack. Okay, and as soon as you finish talking, we'll call the girls up and give them some certificates.
Sounds great. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all the members of the Livingston Parish Council for honoring how wonderful a year French Settlement and Albany has had. And what you don't know about these girls, and I'm sure the council members would agree, these are our girls. They're not recruited. These are French Settlement girls. These are Albany girls who have one or more parents, all family members who went to those schools. And I'm just so proud that I am a part of Livingston Parish and I can be involved in activities like we're doing tonight. And I'm just so appreciative of the girls I coach and the softball girls. And I'm just going to throw some salt in a wound. French Settlement, we beat y'all in softball.
I was supposed to give you a standing ovation. I sat back down.
I didn't pass that up. I'm sorry.
We was rivalries.
I've been tried that before.
Maybe she should run for council.
Differently. So,
Sure.
That's right.
First, we have Aubrey Hoyt.
Just tell me when they're not here and
Had several that had to work tonight. Not here. Cadence Ponder. Caden Boudreau. Morgan Crane. Brianna Watts. Katie Lynn Saxon. Emma Rogers. And Maggie Richardson. Oh, that's it? Yep, yep.
so you want to go into the...
All right, now we'll honor the softball team. They were also state runners-up, Division II non-select. Read this. WC, you want to come up here with me?
WC, don't you say that.
This is assistant coach W.C. Needham from Albany, Louisiana. Okay. On behalf of the Livingston Parish Council, we are proud to recognize Albany High School softball in recognition of your outstanding performance during the season and 2023 Division II non-select state runners-up. We present this on May 11th, 2023 on behalf of Jeff Ard, Gary Talbert, Marie Scooter King, John Wascom, Aaron Sandifer, Gerald McMorris, Tracy Gerlinghouse, Randy DeLatte, and Shane Mack. Here you go, WC. All right, WC, you want to call out the names? I'll do it.
It don't matter.
You go ahead.
Some of them's not
Here, I'll
here,
hold
so...
this.
Yes, I'm not here. Lily Araby. Dorexy Castillo. Jenna Chauvin. She's not here. She's not. Bailey Dervaloy. Nope. Katie Landry. You'll make a speech. Emma Rogers. She's also a quick change artist. Taylor Williams. Gotta go back to it. Madison Puckett. Thank y'all very much.
And I just want to say one last thing, everyone. That's right. The Albany Lady Hornets are so successful and so talented that they not only won state runner-up in basketball, but they won state runner-up in softball too. So let's give them a big hand.
Shane.
All right, let's get a picture. And I just want to thank Mr. Jeff Ard for helping me pass out those certificates. All right. I don't know. Do the best we can to take a little picture right here with everybody. Y'all get up in the front, Sammy. We want to make sure y'all in front of the picture. I mean, behind the girls, of course.
You know, my husband...
WC, you too.
My husband lost all of them into the line. I remember watching people playing against the line. Yeah, that little coach over there, she's something.
All right, y'all make sure they can get y'all and see y'all in the picture now.
Hi, girls. Yeah, it ain't, that's only because he's bald.
I say cheers. All right. Got it.
Thank y'all. Thanks, Stacey. Appreciate you saying
All right, let's go ahead and resume this Livingston Parish Council meeting. Gary, we'll just keep it where it's at.
That's fine, we just.
Okay, item 8 is a resolution ordering and calling a special election on Saturday, October 14th, 2023, for the purpose of authorizing the renewal of a 2.5 mil tax on assessed valuation of all property subject to taxation in Livingston Parish for a period of 10 years for the purpose of acquiring sites for and for constructing, improving, maintaining, and operating the parish health unit, and further making application to the State Bond Commission for consent and authorization to call for an election for the health unit. So a resolution to allow for the tax renewal, not a new tax, but a tax renewal for the health unit. And then after that, if and when that tax passes the vote of the people, it'll come back to the council for an ordinance to allow us to levy that tax. So a motion to, or the resolution to call for the tax renewals, motion by Mr. King. Second by Mr. Mack. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9 is basically going to be the same thing for a recreational district. I think it's number 2. Yeah, adopt a resolution granting approval to Recreation District 2 to call and hold an election on Saturday, October 14th, 2023, to authorize the renewal of a 15 mil tax on assessed valuation of all property in subject to taxes in the district for a period of 10 years for the purpose of constructing, improving, maintaining, and operating the recreational facilities governed by District 2.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Talbert, seconded by Mr. McMorris. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Councilman comments. I would like to say thank you, Gerald and Shane, for bringing these beautiful, talented, athletic teams representing for your district.
It did brighten the room up significantly.
I tell you what, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. Is there any other comments? Oh, Ms. Sanford. Okay. Oh, push it in all the way or something.
Straight down.
Yes.
Is this his councilman comments right now?
Spin it all the way around.
Yeah.
You broke it. So I went to the Fire Protection District 5 Fire Board meeting this week, and there was a real fine group of gentlemen being recognized for, there was an issue that they were called out on to a mother was in distress and delivered a baby. I think it was in the driveway, and baby was delivered not. But these guys, these first responders, showed up and delivered the baby, resuscitated the baby, got the baby and the mama in an ambulance, and were able to make everything okay, like only they can do. And mama and baby are doing perfectly well and fine now. And I want to say these guys' names. They're Alan McGraw, Jonathan Sevier, Cody Call, Charlie Weaver, and Lance Landry. And I was really honored to watch them and be a part of that, where they were recognized at the fire district. And I look forward to attending many more fire board meetings in the future. I just wanted to recognize them.
Any more councilman comments?
Okay.
Mr. Mack?
Yeah, this is just a question. Is it possible we move the special meeting to 5:30 Monday instead of 7?
What was 6?
Instead of 6?
We gotta advertise it 24 hours of business days, so I don't think at the time we called it, you couldn't call it any earlier than 6.
Well, we got like all day tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not a business day. Fridays, Fridays. and
Friday through
Sat-
Monday is considered a business day. Most people work.
Yeah.
Not when we're not open. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday don't count.
Chris?
Well, they've always asked me that. I mean, it's a business day every place else, but your offices aren't open, so I guess, could.
Health unit's open.
I mean, your charter requires a 48-hour notice, but you can call a special meeting on state law notice requirements, which is 24 hours, so.
Some of us might have some events afterwards, and I don't see what the big deal is about moving it up 30 minutes.
Well, has the notice already gone out tonight?
Doesn't matter even to me.
Does the charter stipulate it has to be Monday through Thursday parish business day, or does it just say business days?
I think it actually says which days of the week in there. Look, you got it right there.
All right, 5:30, Monday?
Yeah, I'm just asking if that would be okay. I mean, if all of y'all can make it, if we publish it 24 hours in
Fine.
advance, I think it'll be okay.
I'm fine.
Are y'all all right with it? I mean, is it a big deal? 5:30?
It's
I'd be concerned about any action we taking. That's just my opinion. If
I
the
think
attorney,
The problem, Randy, is if it's 6:38 now, and I don't think we've published, we hadn't put on the door that we're meeting Monday at 6 o'clock anyway, so technically, we hadn't met the requirements for the 6 o'clock meeting, so.
we can change the day. We can still do that. We have where we're aiming at.
Tuesday at 5:30 or
Mr.
Tuesday
Moody
at
said
5.
48 hours, so if it's 48 hours, that's what I would want to do, not 24.
We met this one on 24 hours. The
Somebody-
meeting today was based on 24 hours.
Y'all want to go Wednesday night?
And can you do 24 or can you not?
It's a special meeting, yes.
I can go Wednesday. I don't know. I was just,
Wednesday at 6?
That's fine with me.
Wednesday 6?
Hang on.
I'm good with it.
Hey,
Just to clarify, Saturdays and Sundays
it doesn't say.
and holidays, so, but Sunday's a holiday, so, yeah. Friday doesn't.
do we need to vote since we voted?
So Friday counts as a business day?
It counts as a business day.
I like to say something.
Just a little more.
Wednesday night for the public is not good.
Say again?
It's not good for the public on Wednesdays
Right.
because
Okay.
of church.
You're right. You're right. Thank
I
you for
mean,
saying that,
You either
Mr.
do it Monday or
McMorris.
Tuesday. We said Monday.
So Mr. Girlinghouse is saying that Friday is considered a business day in the home rule charter, and so we have plenty of time.
Yeah, 24 hours is all we need. Let's do it Monday at 5:30.
Okay, Monday, 5:30, and it'll be a special meeting. That way
You okay
it's
with
consent
5:30,
agenda.
Randy? 5:30?
If the
5:30
attorney says
Monday.
okay,
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, and
Yeah, I can get,
that
I'm
way,
sure I can break away from my business
and it'll be a
day.
special meeting, right, Chris?
anytime, let's go.
Okay. Any more councilman comments? All right.
G-Boy, you're not gonna let me take Saturday from you, are you?
What?
The event Saturday, Moonlight,
What you mean?
for the girls softball?
No, you can go ahead.
All right, so they got an event Saturday for the French Settlement girls softball that was just in here. I think they're selling jambalaya plates and, they're in the process of building a new field house and stuff over there, and they're just trying to raise money to continue their success. So anybody around there, I think they're gonna start serving at 11, can come by and buy some jambalaya plates and help support them girls.
All you councilmen want to donate a pot of jambalaya, cost you about $200 probably. Donate to the girls softball.
I'm cooking.
I'm cooking too, so.
No more councilman comments? I'll wrap up with one. I want to say thank you to all the council members and family and friends that reached out to me this past week for family crisis. I appreciate all of y'all's texts and concerns.
Thank you, John.
Item 11, Ms. Sandy, were all those minutes completed?
April 13th, regular meeting, and the Juban Crossing, April 27th are done. I just need to finish up the April 27th.
Okay, a motion for April 13th and 27th to accept those 2 minutes.
So made.
Motion by Mr. Delat, second by Mr. Girlinghouse. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Parish President's report is, I don't know if anyone's here from that, but Livingston Parish Office, Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, Mr. Mark Harrell. This was approved a ARPA HVAC viral mitigation project change order for the detention center, animal shelter, and all buildings.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Delant, second by Mr. Girlinghouse. Thank y'all so much. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Item 14, a public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance number 2314, amend section 127-4, multifamily development buffer zones requested by the planning department. Shane, did this one make it to the ordinance committee?
Where we at now? On 14?
14,
Yes, that basically, we had, in the ordinance, it said that you could have a 25-foot buffer zone and a 50-foot buffer zone. It kind of was conflicting, so we just
That's right,
clarified
that's
it,
right.
made it a 50-foot, and then we also said that you can waive a fence if,
the neighbors.
if the, yeah, if
Right.
the neighbors fill out
Ms.
a
Sandy, would
no
you read by
objection
title,
letter.
please?
I do the public hearing after I read it.
Okay, you want to read the first title, then?
This is proposed ordinance 23-14. It's an ordinance to amend chapter 127, multifamily development, section 127-4E. All multifamily units shall adhere to the required buffer zone and 8-foot fence requirements.
All right, we've discussed this at length in the ordinance committee, and it was real simple. Is there any call for the public hearing? Is anyone here to speak for or against this ordinance? All right, close the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance since it's already
So
been
made.
introduced? Motion by Mr. Zachary, Mr. Delat. Seconded by Mr. Shane Mack. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 15, public hearing and adoption of ordinance number 23-15. Ms. Sandy, you want to go ahead and read by title?
This is proposed ordinance 23-15, an ordinance to amend chapter 126, commercial development, by the creation of section 126-12, clearing and grubbing, in the Code of Ordinances for Livingston Parish.
Shane, you want to give a quick synopsis on this one?
Yeah, I just want to say that this ordinance is already in subdivision ordinance and some other ones. This is just, I guess you could say, making the ordinances more consistent. I want to also say that this would go into effect after the
Plans were,
after the preliminary site plan, was approved and the development process had already started. This wouldn't apply to people just clearing property that may want to sell their property at a later time, or just clearing your property to clean it up or something like that. This here ordinance applies after the planning and development process has already started.
thank you, Shane. I hereby open the public hearing for this ordinance. Is anyone here to talk for or against this ordinance? None being, I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt? Motion by Mr. Girlinghouse,
Second.
second by Mr. McMorris. All in favor say aye. All opposed? None. Motion carries. Item 16, public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance 23-16, creation of section 127-9, clearing and grubbing. I believe it's the same
It's
again
the same thing. This one's for a multifamily development. The one before was for commercial development.
Sandy, would you read by title, please?
This is proposed ordinance 23-16. It's an ordinance to amend chapter 127, multifamily development, by the creation of section 127-9, clearing and grubbing, in the Code of Ordinances for Livingston Parish.
All right, hereby declare a public hearing. Is anyone to speak for or against this particular ordinance? None being, I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Girlinghouse, second by Mr. Mack. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None being, motion carries. Item 17, public hearing and adoption of ordinance LP number 23-17. Ms. Sandy, you want to read that by title?
This is proposed ordinance 23-17. It's an ordinance to amend Part 3, Land Development Code, Chapter 100, General and Administrative Provisions, Section 100-5, penalty for violations of this chapter, by adding an amendment for the allowance of enforcement officers to write citations and summons for court appearances.
I believe this went through the ordinance committee as well.
I agree. And this ordinance is already in place. We're just adding the ability of the parish director of Homeland Security to be able to write the citations also.
All right, I hereby declare a public hearing. Is anyone to speak for or against this ordinance? None being, close the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
Right here.
Motion by Mr. Mack. Second by Mr. R. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 18, public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance number 23-18. Ms. Sandy, you want to read by title?
Yes, this is proposed ordinance 22-18. It's an ordinance to amend Chapter 125 of the Code of Ordinances of Livingston Parish, subdivision regulations, Section 125-10, clearing and grubbing, Section 125-52, procedures for subdivisions without improvements, Section 125-68, procedures for subdivisions with improvements, and Section 125-117, construction plans as follows.
All right. Again, this is the same as the other ones. I think it's for residential though, isn't it, Shane?
No, this here ordinance basically puts an expiration date on the preliminary site plans.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For clearing and grubbing.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, I hereby open the public hearings. Does anyone to speak for or against this particular ordinance? None in the public? All right, that closed the public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance? Motion by Mr. Girlinghouse.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mack. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Item 19, public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance 23-19. Ms. Sandy, you want to read this one by title?
This proposed ordinance 23-19, it's an ordinance to amend Chapter 50, Offenses Miscellaneous, by creating Section 50-17, Government Device Access of the Code of Ordinances in and for the Parish of Livingston as set out more specifically herein.
All right, this is for the, if I'm not mistaken, for the ban the use of TikTok and WeChat across all parish government devices, including the political subdivisions of Livingston Parish, including but not limited to the Livingston Parish Library. Am I correct, Mr. Talbot? This is ordinance that you have brought to this point, correct?
That's it. Pretty self-explanatory.
All right. I'll actually open it up for public discussion. Does anybody in the audience want to talk for or against this ordinance? Come on up, state your name and address, please. And
Hi, I'm Marla Elsey, 30933 Creek Bend Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana. I just wanted to set the record straight and do some reminders for those who weren't here. First of all, Mr. Talbert had said at the April 13th meeting that it was owned, that TikTok was owned by the Chinese Communist Party. It is not. It is owned by a company called ByteDance, and their TikTok division is based in the United States and has 0 offices in China. So it's entirely a United States-based company. It went to ordinance twice. Mr. Talbert, it would have been great if you'd been able to join us at either of those meetings. We had a great discussion about it. It was made clear that it is a completely unconstitutional thing to attempt. There's no way to police this. And especially when you're talking about the library public computers, the people that are using those computers are entitled to social media just as much as anybody else in this room. And let's see, the last thing I wanted to mention was this was attempted at a federal level at one point. The judges said this is unconstitutional. If it's a security issue, like if it's an actual security problem, that's also not within the reach of this council either. That's not something. And the 4 members of the ordinance committee unanimously agreed not to support this particular ordinance. So I just wanted to make sure we remembered that. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I had some dental work done yesterday. But that's it.
thank you so much. Is there anyone else in the audience to speak for or against this particular ordinance? None being, I'll close the ordinance. Is there a motion to adopt this?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Talbert. Is there a second?
I want to make an amendment.
Well, if,
Can we do that?
I mean,
Motion and a second.
is there a second? So there's a second. Now you want to make a substitute motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a substitute motion that we remove libraries. I'll tell you why I feel that way.
Library boards.
The library computers are not networked to the government computers that Livingston Parish people use. It's to my understanding, they do have the ability to prevent people from looking at pornography and sexually explicit material. And so, can we talk a little bit about why we want to ban the libraries? Because I just don't see where they're networked. I mean, I agree the fact that people working for Livingston Parish government, it's not necessary for them to have TikTok on their governmental computer. So I'd like to remove that and amend it. I'd like to make a motion that we amend that and then vote on it as amended. And if not, I'm not going to be
Is
for
there a
it.
second for Mr. Mack's amendment?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Jeff Ard.
So Shane, we're gonna allow for all other political subdivisions except for the library, even though that we have proven that you can go into a Livingston Parish library and access TikTok and then access pornography. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, that's not what this is about. It's not about, banning TikTok from the library because you can access pornography through it, which we have shown through a report from a private detective. But in essence, it is owned by Livingston Parish government. The library is a subdivision of government. And all we're saying is that all material, it's been proven that all material accessed through TikTok is being monitored by the company that owns it, which is a Chinese company. And for a Chinese company to exist, they have to allow the Chinese government access to anything they want at any point in time. So look, if you don't care that people going into the library have their stuff monitored, that's your business. But I'm strongly against the amendment.
Okay, so let's talk, I'm sorry.
So, I feel like it's no different than an ordinance. We have a committee over there. That the library board committee should be looking into this and making that decision for the library. I mean, they gotta look and see if this is something they need to take off their computers or not. We have no feedback whatsoever from them
Yeah,
on
I agree.
on this issue.
I agree.
And I've talked to some people at the library, and the library people already have it off of their computers.
Right.
They don't have it in their networking system. It's just the public computer that has it. That's the only thing that has it. But it's already restricted on administration, everybody that works for the library.
And a lot of people go and they do research in the library, and they may use that for some type of research. I mean, majority of the TikTok stuff that I've witnessed is not good, but there is some stuff on there that people use for research and things of that nature, and it's not linked. It's to my understanding that you cannot view pornography and things like that in the library. I know that you had the investigators that you hired go in and be able to access it, but it's to my understanding those were highly trained individuals that was able to break through firewalls and things of that nature, So I think we do need to put some responsibility on the Livingston Parish Library Board to step up and take action to run their operation the way that it should be ran. And, I'd like to give them an opportunity to do that. So that's my amendment. I'd like to.
Mr. Girlinghouse has something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, were you finished, Shane?
Yeah,
No,
we finished.
I'm done.
But I think it also can be applied to. I think it can also be applied to parish government. I mean, the parish president, if he wanted to stop it in administration, could just write something down and boom, it's done. I mean, you could argue that for us to ban it, all parish stuff is overreach. Like you said at the library, they could just make a decree and it's done. The parish president could just say, put it in in the form of a letter, and
right.
and it's done. So,
Policy, yes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I just,
Well,
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Sandifer?
I just want to make the point that, if we do this, then we have to police it. Then we get into Facebook and Meta and Snapchat and so many other apps. I'm a mom. I hate all these apps. I can't stand them, and I don't allow them on my children's phones that live in my house. But may I ask where this came from, because you're unable to let it go, and I'm trying to understand you and your motivation to remove it.
It's my feeling that this country as a whole is under attack by the Chinese government, and for us to continue to allow them to monitor our activities is crazy. And I have no control over what individuals do in their own home or whatever. But we as a council can absolutely make this against the rules on parish devices. That's it, plain and simple.
So
That's where it comes from. And so I'm asking, and we talk about Facebook, District 4 volunteer fire, District 4 fire department, District 5 fire department, Sheriff's Office, Homeland Security. I can go through the list of people that use Facebook in an effort to get public service information out during different times that have tremendous value.
You can do the same on Facebook. So my point is, you're going to have to ban Facebook as well.
Look, they do that. I'm just not seeing, I don't think the sheriff's office uses TikTok to get information out. They use Facebook to get it out. I'm just asking that since TikTok is not a public relations deal utilized by the parish, it's not being utilized in an effort to promote public safety within the parish, what is the purpose of having it on parish computers? It is the administration's responsibility on how to implement it.
Do you
I'm
know-
just asking that we outlaw TikTok and WeChat on parish computers. And since the library is a parish entity and the computers in there are technically owned by the parish, I'm asking that it expand the library. Look, there's been an amendment.
I'm not talking about the library, I'm talking about in general. Do you know of any parish officials or anyone in parish government that has TikTok or WeChat on their computer?
I didn't
You don't
monitor
know?
anybody's computers. I'm just asking that we make it policy that we don't have it.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Talbert to ban TikTok on all government.
We got an amendment first.
I know, I'm getting there. We have a motion by Mr. Talbert to ban TikTok on all computers in the parish. We had a substitute motion by Mr. Mack to ban it on all except the library. I'd like to make one comment that will give you the third option. It's not another motion, but it's an option. I am against a ban for TikTok. I'm against banning TikTok, and I'll tell you why. This started with federal government when they did what was called the Restrict Act. And the Restrict Act was passed to stop Chinese from spying, but the Restrict Act was so far-reaching that they actually gave power to the Commerce
Communist?
No, the Commerce Department in the federal government to have complete authority to take people's phones and monitor and make laws that they're not even elected people to take away your phones. Actually, there was that part of that power gave them the right to stop you from having a VPN on your computer or your phone. They just let them overreach into people's lives. I think we could easily pass this with a resolution asking Leighton Riggs, hey, just take care of your employees, and we could have a policy in-house. We don't need to pass an ordinance. And I'll say this last thing. The reason you pass an ordinance is because it's enforceable by law. The sheriff now can go out and confiscate your phone. If he suspects there's a TikTok, he can arrest you or we can fine someone. So with an ordinance, it is a law. You could easily fix this with a resolution. So I'm going to offer to let you know, a vote no is to put the control back into the administrations of Leighton Riggs and us and the council and the library board. They can each one run their own. Setting a law is drawing too hard of a line. It's too much overreach from government. So I waited to the end to say that. But we have a motion from Mr. Shane Mack. So what's that? No, Mr. Mack's motion. So let's call for the substitute motion, Mr. Mack's first.
And that's just to amend,
To
remove the library.
To vote to ban TikTok except for the libraries. Ms. Sandy, would you call for the vote?
Mr. Mack?
Yeah.
Ms. Sandifer?
No.
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Delat?
No.
Mr. McMorris?
No.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
No.
Ms. Sandy, did that vote fail? All right, let's call for Mr. Talbert's vote now. Ms. Sandy, would you call for that vote?
Mr. Mack?
No.
Ms. Sandifer?
No.
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard? No. Mr. Delat?
No.
Mr. McMorris?
No.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
No.
All right, that motion fails. All right. Next item on the agenda, let me see, is adopt a resolution to request that the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Railroad Administration.
It's supposed to be pulled off. I'm sorry. That was supposed to be off.
All right, thank you. Item 21, a resolution to adopt a waiver of Section 125-37 requirements for minor subdivisions for the amount of lots on a servitude located in La Glacie Road for Deborah Blunt, and this is in Mr. Randy's district.
She needs a waiver she's dividing the lots. C, I think, I'm pulling it up. Needs a waiver for one lot. I think you can only have 5 and it's going to be 6.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Delat to a waiver for that minor subdivision, seconded by Mr. Gurley.
Yes, I'm pulling it up.
It looks like there's only 5.
Say it again. Let's go.
A, B, C, D, and E, that's 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah, but I'm trying to pull it up. It won't pull.
Great big lots.
The problem is, none of them touched, Randy, none of them, do they touch the road at all? None of them touch the road.
Yeah, it's a private gravel road. That's what it is.
None of them touch the road, and
it's
when
a
you
private
consider the
gravel.
other lots that are existing already around it, that
Yeah.
exceeds the number.
Yeah.
You good?
Yep.
Motion by Mr. Delat, seconded by Mr. Garlinghouse. Any discussion?
Is it to defer it to the next meeting or just
No.
pull it?
Adopt the waiver.
To adopt the
Oh,
waiver.
okay.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 22 is a resolution to adopt a waiver of Section 12537, requirements for minor subdivision for the amount of lots on a private servitude, Edward Averett Road, for the addition of 2 lots in District 6. Mr. McMorris.
It's the same thing as Randy's, so it's 5 now.
Is that a motion?
The motion,
Ms. Sandy?
Second it.
Actually, Adam Averett, not Edward.
Okay. Mistype there. Okay. Adam Averett. All right. Motion by Mr. McMorris.
Second.
Second by Mr. Delat. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Motion carries. Zoning reclassification, rezone parcel 11650996C and 0543405, small neighborhood business, from small neighborhood business to single-family residential for Philip Watts located off Frost Road in Mr. Delat's district.
And which item?
23.
Yeah. That's one of the zoning procedures we've been using. We had said in the past that if someone was zoned and they wanted to change it, that we had 365 days, and
You're good
this is
with
the
it.
parcel, so I want to go ahead and make
Motion by
that
Mr.
motion.
Delat. Seconded by Mr. Girlinghouse. Any discussion? Oh, Mr. King.
Mr. Moody?
Yes, sir.
So in light of what has transpired, should we continue to do this?
No, sir, I don't think so.
I mean, we're under a lawsuit, right?
Right.
But not specifically on the way we, the
Well-
demand letter was different than what the actual lawsuit came in.
Maybe,
Well, I think I've expressed to you, I think we got to start over on the zoning. So I think it would be academic to make any changes now, but this is ultimately your decision, so I can't stop you from doing it.
Will it strike them all down?
Yes,
We'd
sir.
have to do it anyhow.
Yes, sir.
So we can do it, it won't make any
and
difference.
it won't affect anything.
Okay.
All right.
But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
You're
Tracy.
assuming that we actually do
Well, if
do it.
we do.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so there was a motion, I think, by Mr. Delat and seconded by
girl.
Me.
Mr.
Is it me?
Girlinghouse. Let's call for the, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carries. And then we're going to do the same thing again for Mr. Girlinghouse's district, 047225, from agriculture to rural single-family residential for Ronnie Borer, located at 12120 Arnold Road. Mr. Girlinghouse?
You look at the map, there's no nothing that would cause a problem.
I'll second it.
It's agricultural, there's rural actually all around it. So either way, it's kind of like 2 boxes, so you're good either way. So, or you could do agricultural, so.
Motion by Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Delat. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Board reappointments, Mr. Gerald, I think, did you have a fire appointment board?
Yes, Fabian Bridnack passed away, so we're gonna replace him with Brandon Moran.
Brandon Moran?
Brandon.
Brandon? Brent Moran. All right, motion by Mr. McMorris to replace with Brent Moran.
Second.
Seconded by Mr.
Scooter.
Scooter King. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. B is pulled. Item 25, introduction of ordinance. This is a pink tax exemption for Livingston Parish. Gary, Mr. Talbot, educate us. What is a pink tax?
So there are certain items that tend to be used by women more than anybody else, and they have been exempted at the state level. And the state have given every parish the opportunity to exempt them at the parish level. feminine hygiene products, diapers, those type of items.
Sales tax?
Sales tax. So in essence, I have proposed a Livingston Parish ordinance that would allow the parish to exempt those items that are typically used by women, because if you can buy Advil or a drug and get exempt, but you can't buy feminine hygiene products and those things be tax exempt. So consequently, all I'm saying is that where health and beauty aids and some of those, certain items, pharmaceutical drugs and other things have been exempt on, from tax on certain items, that we should carry that forward to other items that typically, that are used and consumed by women. And also, there are a lot of single women out there in the audience that have, children or whatever. Diapers, I don't know if diapers are pretty darn expensive. So all I'm asking is that the parish consider the pink tax exemption to carry on what the state allows you to do, to carry it at the local level for women in this particular environment.
All right. So it'll be just to exempt sales tax on feminine products
And diapers.
and diapers. Mr. King,
So it's got a blank spot.
take your microphone, Scooter, take your microphone.
Because we're trying to, I'm gonna be quite honest, we're trying to evaluate at what portion we can exempt at the, typically.
So
the
we would
parish-
have that before 2 weeks from
We
now?
will have before.
Okay,
Parish
that's what I
has-
wanted to know.
Parish has the parish collects 1% sales tax. The school board collects, the question is, do we have the ability to grant the sales tax exemption for entities that fall underneath parish government? Like, if the Gravity Drainage District collects the sales tax, do we have, and Mr. Moody haven't finished all the research with respect to that.
So that's why
So
it's
that's
blank.
why it's blank. So
Okay.
that, before the ordinance can be adopted, that number will be plugged in, but right now, we can plug it in at 1%, which is all that the parish collects. That's all we collect in the whole sales tax. So the four, depending on where you're at within the parish, what we're trying to figure out is if we have the ability to exempt other subdivisions within the parish. Granted, we can't take care of the school board. That sales tax is outside our realm. We can't do it within municipalities, but the other things we could exercise.
So
our
the
right.
road tax, that wouldn't get, we could exempt the road tax?
The road tax, the
That's from
the
us.
1 cent tax that funds the jail and the road, we would not collect sales tax on sale of feminine hygiene products and diapers.
I have some questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Sandifer.
Okay, well, first I want to make a point, and this is about development, but it is absolutely relevant, that some of these houses, going back through past council meetings, tax revenue was talked about, that we need the tax revenue in this parish. And I'm all for lower taxes. I'm a conservative. But why would I support that with the tax revenue that we need in our parish? And I currently have someone in my district that would like for me to bring to the council to kill the taxes on guns and ammunition. And I just feel like, where does it stop?
That's a good idea.
Same guy called me. Same guy called me and called her.
That's a good
I
idea.
don't believe state law allows you to exempt guns and ammunition, but state law does allow you to exempt these particular products. So look, if you don't think that women deserve a break on feminine hygiene
That
products
doesn't work
and diapers,
with me,
that's exactly
sorry.
what you're saying. If you don't think they deserve the break, then don't give them the break.
Can we have a blue tax? Can we have a blue tax
Okay.
exemption?
Blue tax for.
I don't know. What kind of mail products?
Have a condom.
Right here on you, sir.
All right, I tell you what, we could talk about this all day. I would have loved
Introduce it and let's go.
I would have loved to have discussed this in an ordinance committee meeting, if you want to try to put something together, but you're probably not going to talk about an ordinance committee, are you, Gary?
It's supposed to go to ordinance.
Is this an ordinance or no?
If I don't have, last time we had ordinance committee meeting, I had a Gravity Drainage meeting that I had to go to. So, if there's not a conflict, I'll be there. But typically, I don't get to say when the ordinance committee meeting is. And if I have a conflict and it's something more important, I'm going to go to it.
Okay, so let's see, a public hearing and adoption of an ordinance. Has this been introduced?
This is the
This is
introduction.
the introduction.
It says adopt. I'm sorry, I'm looking at.
This is an
Okay,
introduction.
your introduction. So,
Just introduce it, and y'all can talk about it.
you want to
next
call, let's call for the vote, I guess, for the, you
Well,
want to
wait
read
a
by
minute.
title?
Got a second?
Wait,
Read
do
by
you have a
title.
motion?
We got to read by title.
I got a motion to
Wait a minute.
introduce.
Okay, we're
Wait a
going to read by title first.
Wait. Wait a minute. If it doesn't get introduced, why would we read it by title?
Well, I would read by title so everybody knows what we talk voting on. But if you don't want to read by title, we got a motion. And is there a second to pass the pink tax exemption?
Yes.
Oh, Mr.
I have a
King.
substitute motion.
What's
I'll make
your
a
substitute motion?
To send it to the ordinance committee where it's supposed to start.
A motion
I'll second
To send
that.
it to the
Second by
ordinance
Mr.
committee.
Delat. Okay, that's fine. We'll vote to send it to the ordinance committee.
Hey, at least it ain't.
But would you add to that resolution, if it doesn't pass the ordinance committee, it doesn't come back to the council?
If it,
Can't do that.
Well, I can't agree with that, John.
Either me.
All the ordinance committee can do is give a favorable
Right,
or non-favorable.
right.
That's it.
Right. Okay,
They
you're
can't
right.
kill-
You're right.
They can't kill an ordinance.
You're exactly
So-
right.
I want to make a point that a month, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, I brought 5 ordinances up here to be introduced.
That's correct.
Okay, all of them
Five.
Five.
No other councilman brought that in.
I
but go
understand, I
ahead.
brought 5. They all got referred to the ordinance committee.
Correct.
They all came out with positive recommendations with 0 changes, except the sponsor of the ordinance. You understand that, don't you?
No, I don't.
That's not
So
true.
it's
That's not
exactly
even a
what
true
happened.
statement.
The 5
That's not even a
ordinances
true
got
statement.
sent to the ordinance committee.
Okay.
5.
And they heard them and they approved
They
them.
heard them, they approved them, and when they came back, there was no changes to any of the 5 as
Okay.
they were introduced.
Okay.
And then referred to ordinance.
That's not true.
The only difference when they came back, when they got sent, I was the sponsor of the
Okay.
ordinance, and when they came back, they were the sponsored by the,
So, I see what
just
you're
want to
saying.
get it straight. I mean,
Yeah, you're saying that people don't like you, is what you're saying. Okay, all right, that's all you had to say. Okay. Back to, hold on, Mr. Mack. Hold on. To Mr. Ard's comment that we cannot keep stuff from being on the agenda. 7 years ago, when Mr. Talbot tried to put something, a what?
I didn't say nothing about not putting anything on the agenda. I said that
The ordinance
send
committee
it to the
commi-
ordinance.
You said the ordinance
You
committee
can send
can't kill it.
favorable or non-favorable.
That's right.
That's
But you
it.
said they can't kill it. That's what you said.
Right. So they
Okay,
got
well,
to
hold
give
on.
a favorable or a non-favorable.
I agree, but now I'm going to take it a step further. If the majority of this council says go to the ordinance committee, if it don't pass, it don't come back, then you got this council telling you that they either going to kill it or they're going to bring it to us to vote on. So you understand what I'm saying? That this,
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's saying send it to the ordinance committee to see if it's going
no,
to
they're saying
pass
to
or
get it right, and
fail.
if it don't pass, don't bring it back here.
I don't think so.
The problem with that is.
Guys, he's just going to put it back on the agenda again next week.
But you have 4 people on the you have 4 people on the ordinance committee. That's by design.
Okay.
I can say I don't like it, but I'm not on record as voting.
Okay, we
Mr.
had a
Chairman.
motion by Ms. Sanford to send it to the
No,
ordinance
no.
committee?
Yeah, a motion by to
Ms.
send,
Sanford?
but I would just like to make one more comment. It was confusing, and it was voiced to me at the last meeting that we talked about Mr. Talbot and your ordinances, because it's confusing to the public for it to go back and forth and back and forth. They don't understand how that works. And so can we just have order, please?
So what you're asking that every ordinance go to the ordinance committee?
Yeah.
Every ordinance?
Well,
Hundreds of ordinances.
it doesn't
Unless
have
it's an
to.
emergency.
But
I mean-
when you know it's not going to pass here, I mean, you send it over there, but what?
How do you know? We don't.
Okay, we have a
don't
motion to
poll
send it to
people.
ordinance
People
committee.
poll
Was there a
people. I don't
second?
poll people.
Mr. Delat, Ms. Sanford, you want, Miss Sandy, would you call for the vote, please?
Wait,
To send it to the ordinance committee.
This is just for them to review it. I mean,
Yep.
to give us a favorable or
A
non-favorable.
non-favorable opinion.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Well, now, just going back to some of Mr. Talbert's comments earlier about those 5 ordinances, we discussed those ordinances, we took public input, and it was easy for us to understand the intent and the purpose of the ordinance so that we could support it versus just sticking it on the agenda and saying, hey, vote for me, not really understanding what we were voting for. To me, that was one of the purposes of sending it to the ordinance committee. I wanted to also say that we made some changes to one of those ordinances for the better. To the best of my knowledge, we did. And the one that I'm referring to is the one on the buffer. Okay, the buffer zone, the 50.
Identical.
It's not identical. It's definitely not identical. We made some changes to the better.
You can make changes. Wait a second.
I don't want to argue with you, but I'm
doesn't
just telling you, we made
Point of
changes.
clarification,
All right, come on, hold on.
What
That's
changes
enough.
you made?
We made changes.
We're not going to talk about that.
I'll tell you the change. We can go right out there.
Shane.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Shane.
No, I'm going to tell you the change, Gary.
No,
You
let's
did
go.
not want to allow the fence to be removed,
Well, I
to
didn't
give a
care if
waiver on the fence. You wanted to just strike out no fence. And we allowed that. That was the change.
That's enough. Miss Sandy Till, would you call for the vote, please?
Mr. Mack?
What am I voting on?
Yes.
Send it to the ordinance committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Senate.
Ms. Sandiford?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Delat?
I don't know what's the motion.
Send it to the ordinance committee.
Okay, yes. Yes means to send to the ordinance? Yes, to the ordinance committee.
Mr. McMorris?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Golly.
All right, so it's going to ordinance committee.
They're gonna be closed for it.
All right, that'd be the pink tax. Adopt a resolution, where we at? What number we at, Sandy?
26.
26. Is it 26?
Yes, sir.
Introduction of ordinance, allocation of revenue to the parish by DNR on monies generated on state CCS lease.
You skipped 26.
That is 26.
Oh, that's 27.
Read it off your screen, but it probably got jumbled around.
Yeah. Okay, 26, I don't know, okay.
I want to see this one get sent to ordinance.
All right, this is an introduction of an ordinance prohibition of biological males from competing in female sports in Livingston Parish. This was put on the council agenda by Frog Talbot.
I'd like to make a motion we send it to the ordinance committee.
A second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second to send it to an ordinance committee.
I'd like to make a substitute motion that we introduce it tonight.
You don't have a second, I don't think. All right, that motion fails for a lack of second.
No, we're gonna send it all to them. We've had 14 meetings a week.
And that's another reason I voted no to send it to the ordinance committee. But we had a motion to send it to our ordinance committee, and who seconded? You made no. Randy made the motion. Aaron seconded. Miss Sandy, call for the vote.
Mr. Mack?
Yeah.
Ms. Sandiford?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Delat?
Yes.
Mr. McMorris?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
All right. Evidently, my agenda was messed up.
Here, have it.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
have
you.
it.
We got another one.
This was 27, introduction of ordinance, allocation of revenue to the parish by DNR on monies generated by state CCS lease. Mr.
I'd like to make a motion to send it to ordinance.
I'll second
I
that.
think that's a great idea.
I'd like to make a substitute motion because I think this ordinance is out of compliance with the Home Rule Charter. We cannot allocate money past our 4-year term, and in addition to that, only the parish president can present a budget. We can amend it. I think this ordinance is out of compliance with the Home Rule Charter.
This budget allows us to set up permanent funds, which we have done, which has been done in the past, jail fund, it's just a permanent fund. The ordinance sets up a permanent fund to move 1/3 of the revenue to Gravity 8 for drainage. It moves 1/3 of the fund to the animal control for animal control operations. Mr. Moody, is this ordinance out of line?
Well, I really didn't have much time to study it. I mean, it looked okay for an ordinance. I mean, I got it late this afternoon, okay? I think that's why it's better to go to the ordinance committee, so everybody has a chance to
Let me
study.
explain something, guys. The example you gave was voted on by the people. We can't dedicate money past our term unless it was voted on by the people. Only the parish president could present the budget and you can amend it. It's the same way as signing a contract. If we got grass cutting, we can only sign that contract during the term. we can send it to the ordinance committee, but someone's got to be up there to explain to us why we can do this. I think it's out of order.
Well, let's send it to ordinance, we'll let Mr. Moody evaluate it, and I'll read his recommendation at that point in time. How about that?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Did I get a second?
Motion by Mr. Delat to send it to ordinance,
Yeah, second.
second by Mr. Mack. Gary, you gonna be at that one, maybe?
Wait, I made the motion to send it to ordinance. Randy made the motion, said it was out of line.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay, Mr. Talbot, he said it's ordinance, so,
Okay, so
Mr.
I
Mack,
forgot where we are.
Mr. Mack, you second?
Yeah.
just
Well,
gonna
no,
send it to
he already had a second. Gary already had a second.
It was me.
I made a motion to send to ordinance, Scooter second.
All right.
Randy thought it was out of line. All I said is
And now
let
you-
Mr. Moody have the opportunity to make.
All right,
I'm gonna go with
all
that.
in
We'll
favor,
address
say
that in
aye.
ordinance.
Any opposed?
No.
I'm opposed, Sandy.
Oh,
All right, item 29, advertise, okay, this particular item is, on the council, few months back, I created a personnel committee to oversee, parish council employees, hiring, firing, discipline, grievances. It's been a little problem just because that personnel committee is named, the parish has one in the home rule charter, and so I did it, but we didn't really need it. We haven't used it, so I'd like to abolish that personnel committee that we have for the parish council, but so that is no more. And also, I'd like to get a resolution to authorize Miss Sandy Teal to advertise for new council employee. We just lost a council employee here recently, and Miss Caroline is going to be out in October through January.
don't you just get to make that call?
Well, I just did.
No, I mean,
But the resolution, I want y'all to authorize her to advertise for an employee and interview people and bring them to the council for us to pick somebody. So that,
So how are we gonna do this, John? So what money are we gonna pay them with?
Mr. Talbot, please
I'm just
don't
trying to
argue.
figure out what money
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
use
pay
the
'em.
same money we paid your daughter with,
My stepdaughter?
okay? So, don't start.
So,
Just
Mr. Moody,
let Sandy go
Mr. Moody,
advertise and
Mr.
interview
Moody,
people.
have you got the EEOC complaint that they've authorized to be filed?
Point of order.
I've seen it.
Point of order.
That's not what we're talking about.
Oh, excuse me.
So-
I just thought the point of order. We're talking
Hey,
about.
Gary, it's
what
about
we've got.
time you shut down.
Is there a
Now it's about
motion?
time you shut up
Is
over
there a
there. You
motion?
done overruled this council for long enough time.
there a motion to?
Be a gentleman for a while.
Wait a second. Why,
Okay.
all I want to make a point is
No,
that we might have
we have a
funds
motion
available to pay.
to authorize Ms. Sandy to advertise and interview for employees. And we have a motion by Ms. Sandifer. Is second by Mr. Mack?
Yeah,
Call for the vote, Ms. Sandy.
Mr. Mack,
yeah.
Ms. Sandifer,
Yes.
Mr. Wascom,
Yes.
Mr. Ard,
Yes.
Mr. Delat,
Yes.
Mr. McMorris,
Yes.
Mr. King,
yes.
Mr. Talbert,
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
Yes.
Item 30, well, let's skip that one for now. Committee reports. Finance Committee, Mr. Delat.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
just want to make notice, we had number 28 to add rows for consideration.
Oh, thank you.
Just skip
I'm
me.
sorry.
Just leave it out.
Item 28, adopt resolution to add roads for priority
You get,
list.
you get
Mr.
one
Maurice
for
King, you have a road or two?
Yeah,
He wants to threaten me?
it was, Netterville,
You tell him consider.
and what was the other one? I can't even remember. I had 5 and only sent
Harold.
six.
You made your-
Harold Lane.
I don't know nothing
Yeah,
about that.
in
Harold
District 3. both
and
of them.
Netterville?
And Netterville.
Motion by Mr.
Yes.
King, second by Mr. Girlinghouse. All in favor, say aye. All right, motion carries. Any opposed? Motion carries. We did the new council. Let's see. Finance Committee, Mr. Delat, did you have anything for Finance Committee?
Yes, the finance director said that in order for the constables and the JPs to get the money that we pass by resolution, that we have to amend our ordinance. So we're going to take that up in ordinance committee to amend the ordinance so they can get that money, that supplemental pay. The other item was that we had a few of the councilmen have reached out to me and asked about the bonding of the council persons. And there was, I think, a 1707 that says that we shall be bonded if we voted by majority vote. So Ms. Jennifer says that we do have a bonding policy. She has to see what it covers and doesn't cover, and then she's going to report back to us, and then we'll see if y'all want to make any changes to it.
You need any,
Yeah.
do you need any action?
We've been
I
asking
need
about
no
that for
actions.
years. and-
Need no action.
So just no action taken?
That's just information.
Gonna come
Okay.
back with, to
It's just-
finance.
it's all
Okay, good,
information.
good.
Okay.
That's important.
All right, and then in the ordinance committee, the introduction of ordinance amend update zoning classification. Shane, help me out on that one.
Okay, so that's the uses classifications ordinance, the zoning ordinance that has the classifications, the uses within that. We're making changes. We're not ready to introduce that tonight, though. We need to defer that to the next council meeting.
Okay, and the recommendation to hire a planning professional for zoning, do y'all want to delay that, defer that one as well?
No.
You know? All right, well, okay, well then, ordinance introduction, you have an ordinance set to hire a professional planner?
The ordinance is not written. We just discussed,
Resolution.
Pardon?
You would do a resolution to hire somebody.
Right.
Okay. Is there a resolution ready for that, or?
To hire a
You mean ask the
professional
parish
planner.
president to hire somebody,
yes.
right?
I don't have a copy of
about
the
it.
resolution on my deal. I don't have a printed one in front of me. Y'all got one?
No.
So is there a resolution or a motion or a,
Not ready.
so you want to defer it till we write something better?
I guess we can write a resolution and defer it to the next council meeting.
Okay. All right.
So we'll pick that up Monday night.
You can't do but one thing.
Well, no, it'll be at the next council meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And then the
Let me ask
recommendation,
Mr. Moody a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we time sensitive here or not?
It's up to you. I think the sooner the better on that. And it can just be by motion. A motion is essentially a resolution, so the motion can just be.
That's what I
I
thought.
move that we engage the,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
So who made the motion?
I mean, I can make it. I think
Okay.
I think it's necessary.
Yes.
A second.
Okay, the motion just says to hire a planner to guide us. Is that what we're saying? We don't have to have how long he's working or how much
Right.
he's getting, just to guide us.
Planning professional for zoning procedures. Yep.
Okay.
So y'all voted on this in the planning commission? Y'all had a recommendation that came
In the
out?
ordinance-
The ordinance committee.
This committee meeting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
We
can
did.
give
No,
y'all
no
some
resolutions
information
go
on
to
a
the ordinance
professional.
committee. No resolutions go to the
we'll send it
ordinance
to the ordinance
committee.
committee, let them come talk.
We already talked about it
Okay.
at the ordinance committee.
We want one hired.
We
wanna hire
need one. We want one hired. I have had the pleasure of meeting one that is fantastic. If y'all would like me to share some information with you, I've attended his planning commission training classes, which are required by planning commission members. He's with the Capital Region Planning Commission. His name is Stephen Villavaso. He's a professional urban and regional planner and a land use zoning attorney with over 40 years of experience in city and regional planning, land use law, and zoning. The professional planning firm of Villavaso and Associates has provided professional services for the past 16 years in the areas of zoning, land use planning, master plan development, city and regional planning, and land use law to clients throughout Louisiana and the United States. Currently doing a master plan for Tangipahoa Parish. He just helped craft the half-acre moratorium for Tangi. Recently crafted a moratorium for St. Tammany. Recent projects include master plans for cities of Covington, Folsom, Livingston, Hammond, Sulphur, Nulano, Slidell, New Orleans, and Harahan, the New Orleans Unified Recovery Plan, and the Lafayette Parish City Recovery Plan. He has served as an expert in the areas of land use, zoning, planning, annexation, and all related matters in court cases at all levels in Louisiana and Mississippi for the past 25 years. And J.T. Taylor uses him in Livingston. He's a fantastic fella.
John?
I mean, look, his qualifications are impeccable. The
Mr.
question,
Scooter King, he got the floor there.
So are we just
Should we
saying
advertise this?
that we have done it all wrong?
No,
so
I
we
was
need to
giving
have
you-
somebody to fix it?
No, we're not saying that. We're just saying we need a planning professional
That we can't hire.
To come in and talk.
to come in and talk and help, whatever we might need to help
Tell
them
us
with. We
whatever.
still have districts that are not zoned yet.
Resolution to bring him in?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
glad
second.
you got a second.
What?
Motion,
Can
Ms.
we
Sanford?
just hire somebody like this? I mean, do we have to put it out
We're not hiring,
and
we,
ask
it's a
for other
resolution
people
to ask
to?
somebody
We're
else
not
to hire.
hiring. That was just
Do bids on a
information.
professional service contract, but ordinarily you would get the administration to hire the person. You can, there's been times when this council has named and decided you need professional help.
Oh, I agree, we do.
So I agree that you ought to need some clarification other than just say hire somebody, because then it's, then who you're gonna hire and who makes that decision if it's not all of you. So,
Motion to engage the hiring process.
well, I mean, if that's who you want to propose, I think it would be better to name one particular person.
I think he would have to come speak to us first.
That's
So
up to you.
what
If you
would
want to
like
vet,
get him to do,
if
right?
you want to vet other choices, that's up to you.
Typically, they do, people, professionals like this do not come and speak without a,
Unless you pay.
unless they're under contract,
understand.
right? It's an ethical issue. So,
And I'd heard that he's doing Livingston too, which is great. That's right here. We can see what, you know.
I'll tell you what, let's let Mr. Burns. You got a little insight on this?
My name is Gerald Burns. I'm the chairman of the Master Plan Review Committee. Back in 2019, we had a professional planner come up and talk to us. And at that time, you can't just hire somebody. You got the parish administration has got to advertise to all the people that's qualified, and they submit their bids into the parish. Now, I talked to Mayor Kistler and Miss Jennifer Myers just yesterday, I think, and that is the way you have to do it. You can't hire somebody, even though the lady that, the man that she's talking about is a wonderful guy. You have to advertise. You can't just hire somebody.
We could pass a resolution asking
a resolution to engage the hiring process by
the parish president.
Start
the parish president.
whatever process.
Ask administration to.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Clarify the motion and then we got a second.
That's what she,
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
yeah.
Motion by Ms. Sanford, second by Mr. Grillinghouse. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 31B3, recommendation to hire outside legal counsel for zoning guidance and direction as per section 4-02 of the Home Rule Charter.
Isn't that the same?
You want
I'm not.
to combine these two?
That's the same.
Really the same thing.
I think the Home Rule Charter specifically says that any legal counsel that we use comes through the district attorney's office. Am I correct, Mr. Moody? Can we hire
That's
outside?
wrong.
No,
You're allowed to
That's
hire
wrong.
special counsel.
right.
So
That'd be
is there a motion on this particular item?
I think it's a duplication myself.
Oh, Ms.
Our home rule charter says that when you hire an attorney, an outside attorney, you have to do it for specific purpose, and you also have to have, like, how much his contract or her contract will be.
Well, that's set by Attorney General. It's Attorney General fee. I mean, they can only charge you what the Attorney General allows. Am I right,
In
Mr.?
the past, that's
Yeah.
how we've
Yeah,
done
that's
it.
right, but you ought to, well, ordinarily in the past, we've had a contract that you've approved
Right,
for a set amount and usually set a budget.
right. I'm just wondering, and I may be confused, if 3 can't be tabled or pushed back unless Mr. Moody tells us that we need someone right now, but I would,
No more in a little while,
yeah.
But
whether we need one right now or not, after we'd have the executive session. Could we take that up
Can we
after the
table this
executive
till
session?
after executive session?
Yeah.
That's,
Good idea.
is that Mr. Ard's motion to table?
Be a little more
I'll make a
clear.
motion to table it till
Cooter,
after
Cooter,
executive
second.
session.
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
All right, I guess the district attorney report and executive session, you want to do both at the same time, Chris, or?
I don't have any other report other than my request to discuss that case in executive session.
Okay, Ms. Sanford?
I need to speak about executive session based on how you advised me. So I have some questions before executive session.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are you under contract with?
Who am I under contract with?
Yes, sir.
My contract is with the district attorney's office.
I will be legally represented by separate counsel as per your advising me, and anything you tell me in executive session will not be confidential. So why don't we just discuss it now in the public? Is that an option?
If you can vote against the motion to go into executive session, yes, I would caution you not to discuss this in front. We have our opponents are sitting in the room tonight. I'd hate to discuss your strategy and what your choices are in front of them.
It's not going to.
Executive session.
It's not going to be confidential with me because you advised me to seek my own personal attorney.
I can't keep you from spreading the information. I asked you to keep it confidential, but I can't stop you from doing that.
Mr. Moody, it's about one particular case we've been talking about. It's not about the one we got yesterday, right?
Correct.
Right.
And there's 6 of us that I assume, since you advised me to seek personal counsel, that you advised 5 others to seek the same, so it's not confidential. Have you?
Well, it wouldn't be confidential to you. You're part of the executive session. I don't mind if your lawyer comes back into executive sessions to talk to us. Is he here tonight?
No.
I'm not trying to keep anything secret from him. We're on the same side.
Have you been appointed by the district attorney to represent the parish council?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been appointed by the Livingston Parish District Attorney to represent the councilmen in their individual capacities?
I generally do, yes. I advise you to get your own counsel when I think you may have personal exposure. So that's why I think you ought to consider doing that.
Is there a document that memorializes that appointment?
Yes, ma'am. You mean my appointment?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
May we see it?
But on me, but I'll be happy to share it.
Can you email it to us?
Sure.
Who will be paying the attorney fees to represent the parish council?
Parish pays my fees for litigation. The district attorney pays my fees for all of the general work.
So who will be paying the attorney's fees to represent the parish council?
Parish.
Who will be paying the councilman's fees in their individual capacities?
You.
That's up to me?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand.
Well, I don't think the parish is going to pay for your own personal lawyer to help represent you. Now, we can talk about it in executive session. You can choose collectively to hire a special counsel to defend the whole ball of wax. It's up to you.
The parish has to represent me in my capacity as well. So I guess, I'm asking who would be paying that?
You will be defended. Yes.
And what is the attorney rate that you will be receiving?
$225, I think. $225 is the AG rate.
Is that the AG rate?
Yeah, it won't exceed that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was interesting.
About the executive session, so.
We need a motion.
In the lawsuit, we are named as the council and then the 6
Yes, the
defendants.
parish, planning commission, and
So
6
we can all go
individuals.
to the executive. I was just wondering if you weren't named, could you be privy
Well,
to the
I'm
executive session?
named in it, so I'll make a motion that we go in executive
I
session.
do have one more question. Why isn't the parish president named in the lawsuit?
I can't speak to that. I didn't.
Because our home rule
draft
charter
the
states that he has to be.
I didn't draft the lawsuit, so.
Is there a second for Mr. Ard's motion to go to executive session?
Second, Mr. Ard.
Second by Mr. King.
Before we vote on it, why is a vote? It was on the agenda. Why do we have to vote? Why can't we just go in executive session?
We always vote to go
required
in
to vote.
executive session.
Because somebody
We
might not
always
wanna go.
vote to go in executive session.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Sandy, you want to call for the vote on this?
This is to go into executive session, and it's the addendum we're talking about, right?
Yes, the addendum that, I'm going to pull mine since it's,
Mr. Mack,
Yes.
Ms. Sandifer,
No.
Mr. Wascom,
yes.
Mr. Ard,
Yes.
Mr. Delat,
Yes.
Mr. McMorris,
No.
Mr. King. Albert,
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse.
You're just voting to go in
go in
executive session?
executive,
Yeah.
All right, we're going
All
to
right,
executive
we'll
session.
take a,
Look, real quick, before everybody disperse, I did get the cop that was shot, he is in critical condition, but he is still alive, so everybody pray for him. That family's gonna need everybody to lift him up.
thank you, Jeff. All right, we won't take any action in executive session. We'll hear what our attorneys have to say, and then we'll come back out and either take action then on something, or we'll adjourn.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.
I make a motion to go back in the session.
Motion by Mr. Ard to go back into
Regular meeting.
Regular meeting, seconded by Mr. Girlinghouse. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Regular meeting it is.
No action was taken.
No action was taken in the executive session, and
Mr. President, I'd ask for to give me the authority to negotiate a settlement that I discussed with you in executive session.
well, motion by Mr. King to, you'll repeat that motion again for Ms. Sandy?
I ask that I ask that you give me the settlement authority that I discussed with you in executive session for the lawsuit that's the subject of the executive session.
Okay.
I'll second this.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Talbert.
Was I not supposed to say? I mean, I thought, I'm good.
All right, Ms. Sandy, you want to call for the vote?
Mr. Mack?
No.
Ms. Sandifer? No. Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Delat?
No.
Mr. McMorris?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
It did pass? All right. Next item on the agenda is to adjourn.
Motion to
Wait,
adjourn.
wait. We talked about the special meeting Monday.
Oh, yeah, we need to-
I'd ask that you postpone that until we negotiate with the other side.
I'll make that motion.
Why do we have to postpone that until we negotiate with the other side?
Because part of that discussion is gonna be a cease and desist on 4, in District 5 on Deer Run. And you're trying to negotiate with the individuals at the same time you're trying to give them a cease and desist. It's not gonna allow Mr. Moody to negotiate if that meeting, that's one of the things he discussed.
You making a motion to?
To cancel the meeting on Monday.
Second that.
All right, any discussion? Ms. Sandy, you got that motion? You want to call for the vote?
Mr. Mack?
No.
Ms. Sandifer?
No.
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Delat?
No.
Mr. McMorris?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Yes.
That motion passes. Okay, so we will have a meeting Monday. Next item on the agenda is to adjourn. It's 8:30.
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. King. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.